Hello to everybody who has joined our live stream. Now the time is 2 minutes to 1 p.m. Central Africa time, and we are going to start our online webinar in several minutes, in 1 or 2 minutes. Now we are waiting for everybody to join our online broadcast. And very soon we are going to start. Today is April the 22nd, Sunday, 1 p.m. Central Africa time. And according to our plan, we are going to conduct the second online webinar of BST company, which will start in 1 minute, as it was scheduled before. Please join our live stream, our broadcast. It will be very interesting. The topic of our today's webinar will be wet drilling versus air drilling. And I have prepared the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation, which you will be able to watch in order to have the pictures and different examples. And I hope that would be helpful for you. All right, dear friends, that is time to start our online webinar number 2. I think that many of you have already watched the previous webinar of BST company, and we have received a lot of positive feedback after it. There were a lot of questions, and that is why we have decided to carry out the second online webinar and to continue this good tradition, because it is a good way to communicate with our customers, because we allocated tens of thousands of kilometers from some of the countries which are situated in Africa, in Latin America, or in other parts of the world. And that is why we encourage this type of live stream, this type of communication. Recently, we have received a lot of questions regarding the methods of drilling. The clients very often ask me, what type of drilling should they use? Using the mud pump, using the water pump, using the air compressor? That is a very, very common question. And in order to cover all these issues, we have decided to cover this topic during today's online webinar number 2. Now, let me share the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation, for you to have a look. All right. As you know, the topic of our today's webinar is wet drilling versus air drilling. And let me introduce the plan of our online webinar. So I will tell you that it is going to be conducted during 1 hour approximately. So first of all, I will give the definition of wet drilling and air drilling, and explain some equipment and tools which are used during this and that type of drilling. After this, I will explain how to select the necessary configuration of equipment. Then I will give some examples how to choose the necessary configuration based on your requirements. So there will be several examples of requirements, and I will explain how to choose the necessary type of drilling equipment, the drilling machine for you. Then, as usually, for all participants of our online webinar, we will provide good discounts. So please watch this broadcast until the end, and you will get this special bonus from our company. As usually, I will tell you then how to contact BST to make a request, and I will describe how to find us online on the internet and in different social networks. And as usually, after the webinar, I will answer all the questions that you might have. And now let us start with wet drilling. First of all, I will describe the definition of this type of drilling. Right now, you can see the pictures which describe wet drilling. Another name of this drilling is water drilling or fluid circulation drilling. So what does it mean? If we make wet drilling, that means that we use the mud pump or the water pump, and we supply water to the drilling rig, which is supplied to the borehole and which is mixed with the broken formation. Why do we do this? We do this in order to help the drilling bit penetrate the ground. So how does it work? As you can see on the first picture right here, in order to perform wet drilling, we have the mud pump or the water pump, so which you can see right here. This water pump has the hoses, and one part of the hoses goes to the water pit. So what is the water pit? In order to make fluid circulation drilling, you need to dig a pit. The sizes of this pit may be 1 meter length, 1 meter width, and 1 meter depth. Then you fill this pit with water, and the motor pump starts taking the water from this pit, and then it supplies the water to the swivel of the drilling rig. And from this swivel, the water is supplied to the whole drilling string, and finally gets to the bit, to the drilling bit, and at this point, it is mixed. This water is mixed with the broken rock, with the broken formation, and after this broken formation, when it is mixed with water, so they convert into mud, and this mud gets from underground to the surface, as you can see on the pictures. And due to the fact that the motor pump supplies the water under the pressure, it allows the water go up from the underground. And finally, you get like the closed loop system. So what does it mean? It means that the motor pump gets water from the pit, from the water pit. It delivers it to the drilling rig and to the borehole. And from the borehole, the water pump returns to the pit, to the water pit from which it was taken initially. So that is the basic explanation of the wet drilling technique. Okay, for wet drilling performance, we use different type of equipment and different type of tools. So these tools and equipment include basically the motor pump, which you have already seen at the pictures at the previous slides. And also you can use the professional mud pump. What is the difference between the mud pump, the professional mud pump, and the motor pump? So let me explain to you. And to do this, let us go back to our presentation again. Now here you can see the motor pump right here. And right here you can see the professional pump NB4. So what is the difference? If you use the small dimension drilling rig, such as a portable drilling rig or drilling rigs mounted on the trailer, basically you would choose the motor pump, and it will allow to perform a wet drilling to the depth of 50 meters, 70 meters, and up to 100 meters. So for this purpose, this motor pump will be enough. And as you can see, it has the engine and also the pump, and it is like the complete whole unit. And if we take the professional pump NB4, it is used in order to drill to deeper distances, such as 100 meters, 150 meters, even 200 meters. So this specific pump NB4 will allow to perform wet drilling up to 200 meters. And which is more, if you need to drill up to 300 meters, we can offer to you another type of pump, which is called NB50. The feature of this professional pump is that it is installed on the board of the truck, or it is installed on the board of the trailer. So it is not located somewhere else because it does not have the built-in engine, and it is powered by the engine of the truck, or it is powered by the engine which is installed on the trailer. And in order to power this professional pump, you might want to use the diesel engine of 60 or 120 horsepower. So it will be the best option. Also, besides mud pump and water pump, during wet drilling, you need to use different types of blades. And how to choose the necessary types of blades? Basically, we offer 3 types of bits. So the first type of bit is 3-blade bit. So the second type is PDC bit, and the third type is roller cone bit. I will show them to you right now to have a look and explain in which cases you should use this or that type of bit. So as you can see right here, that is the 3-blade bit. So when do you use it? So if you need to drill in soft soil, in soft formations, basically from the first to the third category, you would want to use a 3-blade bit. As you can see, there are special pobedit teeth which are connected to the bit, and they allow to drill successfully such soils as sand, clay, loam soil, sandstone, and drift sand. But there is a question. If we make wet drilling and then we come across some harder formations, for example, the formations from 4th to the 6th category of hardness, or up to 8th category of hardness. In these cases, you could use another 2 types of bits, which are specially designed for hard formations. You could see it right here. The first one is PDC bit for hard formations, and the second one is the roller cone bit for hard formations as well. Let us start with the PDC bit, and I will explain to you what is it. So the PDC bit, or polycrystalline diamond cutter bit, they are characterized by the fact that they have increased wear resistance, and the cutters, which you can see right here, they are made of the diamond powder on the tungsten carbide base plate. And the bit body, which you can see right here, is made of wear resistance steel. And these drilling bits, they allow to drill in formations up to 8th category of hardness. But pay attention that they can be used if you have some layers of this hard soil, hard formations. If you and as for the roller cone bit, which you can see right here below, so you can see that roller cone bit, they have 3 rollers right here. And basically, the roller cone bit, it is the type of rock breaking tool which is used in rotary drilling, and it is equipped by these rollers with the milled teeth, which you can see right here, or pressed in pins, and they are made of hard alloy, tungsten carbide as well, and they allow to break these hard formations, this hard soil, with category of hardness up to 8. As for the sizes of these bits, you can choose any sizes. And for the 3 blade bits, we offer the sizes from 90 millimeters to 300 millimeters. As for the PDC bits, the sizes differ from 96 millimeters and up to 215 millimeters. The same for the roller cone bit. So they start from 76 millimeters and go up to 295 millimeters. So be sure that we can select the necessary size of these bits for your application. As for the 3 blade bits, it is clear. They are designed for soft formations. And what is the difference between PDC bits and roller cone bits? So which bit to choose, I think you might ask. And I will explain to you how to choose the necessary bit. So according to the experience and according to the feedback from our customers, if you use the small dimension drilling rigs, such as portable drilling rigs or trailer-mounted drilling rigs, it is better to use PDC bits. So they have shown better performance, and they have shown that they break the formations, the hard formations, better than the roller cone bits. And if you have exploration drilling rig, which is mounted on the truck, and when you have the big force, you can use the roller cone bit with exploration drilling rigs, so with big drilling rigs. And in this case, you have the big force, the big torque of this powerful drilling rig, and that is why it will be better to use the roller cone bits. So that is the main difference between these 2 bits. All right, now let us go on, and I will continue with our presentation. Now, there is a question: which types of drilling rigs can be used in order to perform wet drilling? As you can see by the picture below, you can see that all types of drilling rigs can be used to perform wet drilling. Yes, that is true. As for wet drilling with a portable drilling rig, you use 3-blade bits, and also you can use PDC bits. So these are the drilling rigs. And also you can use the drilling machines which are mounted on the trailer, or which are mounted on the self-propelled base. So what is the main difference between them? So if you use these small drilling rigs, small dimension drilling rigs, basically you would need the motor pump, as you have seen before. And also you can use the motor pump with this type of drilling rig because it is equipped with gasoline engine of 24 horsepower. And if you use, let us say, more powerful drilling machines which are mounted on the trailer, like GBU 60L with diesel engine, or there is another model, GBU 120L with diesel engine, again of 120 horsepower, or self-propelled drilling rigs, you can install, and we will install, the mud pump on the board of these drilling machines, which will allow you to make drilling up to 200 meters. And of course, you can also use the exploration drilling rigs, which are mounted on the truck, on KAMAZ in this specific case. And the main difference when you make wet drilling using the exploration drilling rig, that the mud pump, the professional mud pump, is installed, is mounted on the board of the chassis of this truck. So it is very convenient. Now let us consider the advantages and disadvantages of this type of drilling, of wet drilling. Of course, the first advantage and the main advantage is the price. The wet drilling is less expensive if it is compared to air drilling. What does it mean? It means that you basically need the water pit, and you need the basic tools such as 3-blade bit, PVC bit, or roller cone bit, and of course the pump, the mud pump or the motor pump. So that is the initial set of tools which is used when people start drilling. So if you want to start your business drilling water wells for other people and earning money for this, that is like the initial set, which is affordable for most of the people, and which you can use in order to start and in order to try your efforts, to try your power in this field. And what are the disadvantages? Of course, there are several disadvantages of this type of drilling. Basically, it is slower if it is compared to air drilling, because when you make wet circulation drilling, fluid circulation drilling, you break the tool using the torque, using the power of the rotator, and the water, the mud, helps you with it. And when you make, for example, air drilling, then you have a high power or low power compressor, which assists you and which ensures greater speed of drilling. And the second disadvantage of this type of drilling is the need of water pit and the supply of water. What does it mean? That means that in order to perform wet drilling, that is the compulsory condition that you dig some kind of pit, as I said before, and fill it with water. And one important point, one important question in this is you should refill the water from time to time. Why do you need to do this? It is important to do because when you supply the water through the mud pump or through the water pump to the swivel of the drilling rig, and when it goes down to the borehole, the drilling rods go deeper and deeper, and you start reaching some levels of water, like the first horizon, the second horizon, and when the water from the water pit starts and gets to these levels of water, the first horizon to the second horizon, it is absorbed by these levels. So it is absorbed by these levels, and that is why the level in the water pit decreases. That is why you should go somewhere to some source of water, and you should refill the level of this water. But also there is another option besides water pit. You can deliver, if you do not have the opportunity to drill, not to drill, but to dig the water pit at the drilling site, you can use the container. So you can deliver the container with water to the drilling site. And in this case, the water to the borehole will be delivered not from the water pit, but from the container. And in this case, you should calculate approximately how many containers you should need, or how you are going to replenish the amount of water in these containers. So you should consider this moment as well. We go on our presentation, and now we have reached the second type of drilling, which is air drilling. Let us start with the definition. First of all, let us look at the pictures, which you can see right here, and all of them represent air drilling. These ones. In order to perform air drilling, you need the following equipment and tools. You need the air compressor, and you need the corresponding tool, which is down the hole hammer and drilling bits, or so-called crowns. And in order to perform air drilling, you connect the air compressor using special hoses to the modernized swivel of the drilling rig, and the compressed air is supplied to the drilling string and goes to the down the hole hammer and then to the crown. And this pressure, which is created by the compressor, makes the down the hole hammer penetrate the ground. At these pictures, which you can see right here, those are the drilling rigs which was supplied by our company to Africa. And right here, you can see how they make air drilling for the purpose of geological exploration. And please pay attention that our equipment can also make inclined drilling, as you can see at this picture or at this picture. So right here you can see the down the hole hammer. So this one and this one. And as you can see right here, you do not need to have the water pit, because the drilling is dry, so it is like the name of the drilling, dry drilling or air drilling. And as you can see right here, that is down the hole hammer with the crown, with the drill bit, which is used for this method of drilling. Now let us move on, and I will describe to you the equipment which is used in order to perform air drilling. As you can see, first of all, we need the compressors. At this picture, you can see different types of compressors which are used for air drilling. And what do you need to know about the compressor? How to choose the necessary compressor in order to make the air drilling? So there are two main characteristics of the air compressor. The first characteristic is its capacity, which you can see right here. For example, the capacity of this compressor for VU1 is 5 cubic meters per minute. And the second characteristic is the power of compressor. So right here you can see the power is 9 atmospheres. So what do these characteristics mean? The capacity means the amount of air which this compressor can create and deliver per 1 minute. And the power of this compressor means the maximum power which it can establish. So these are the basic characteristics which you pay attention in order to see whether these compressors will be enough for your application. And as an example, I will tell you, so this compressor, which is for VU, it is manufactured in Russia at the Chelyabinsk compressor plant, and it will be suitable to drill, let us say, up to 30 or 50 meters down. If you need to drill deeper, let us say to 150 or even to 200 meters, then you could use the compressor from Atlas Copco, which is XAHS 186, with the characteristics of 10 cubic meters per minute and the power of 12 atmospheres. And this compressor will allow you to drill up to 200 meters. As for these compressors, they have relatively small sizes, and they can be mounted even on the chassis of the truck. And as for this compressor, you can also use them with small dimension drilling rigs. But the main difference is that you will not be able to mount these compressors on the board of these drilling rigs because they are small dimension drilling rigs, and you will need to use them as a separate unit. So you connect this compressor to some vehicle and you deliver it to the drilling site, and then you just need to connect it with the small dimension drilling rig. And that is why you can use them also with small size drilling machines. And also we can offer to you high power compressors. So as for these compressors, so this one, and this one, they are low power or middle power compressors, which allow basically to drill up to 200 meters. But let us say if you need to drill up to 250 meters or up to 300 meters. In these cases, you might want to use the high-power compressor by Atlas Copco. The model XRVS 487. The capacity of this compressor is almost 30 cubic meters per minute, and the capacity of this machine is, the power of this machine is 25 atmospheres. Also, besides compressors, the necessary tools which are used during air drilling are the downhole hammers and the drill bits, which are used in order to perform the air drilling. So these are completely other types of tools if compared with the wet drilling, and these down the hole hammers and crowns or drill tools, they are specially designed for use with compressors. Now I will show you at the presentation how they look like. Let us have a look. So right here you can see the air drilling tools, which is the down the hole hammer. And so this one or this one, and the drilling bits or the crowns, which are connected to the end of these drilling bits. So what is a down the hole hammer? The down the hole hammer, it is the special tool which converts the energy of compressed air, and then it converts it to the impact energy, and then transfers to the rock breaking tool, which is the crown or the drilling bit. As for the types, there are also different types of down the hole hammers and different types of the crowns. For example, if you use the compressors of low pressure, then you should choose the types of down the hole hammers for the low pressure compressors. And if you use a high power compressor, which allows to drill up to 300 meters, then you have to choose the suitable down the hole hammer, which is specially designed for high power compressors. And if you look at the crowns or at the drill bits right here, you can see that the end of this tool has special pins. So these pins may have different geometry. And they are made of hard alloy, which allows to break these hard formations. So what does it mean? It means that if you have such formations as dense dolomites, silicified sandstone, basalt, heavy borites, then you should use the down the hole hammer and these drill bits with their designs, and they will allow to break these types of formations. So these pins, which you can see right here, may have different shapes, whether spherical shape or parabolic shape, and as I said before, they are made of hard alloy. As for the sizes of these drill bits, we can also offer to you different sizes. If we take the low power drilling bits, the sizes, the diameters may vary from 50 millimeters and up to 250 millimeters. And if we take high power drilling down the hole hammers and drill bits, we can offer to you the diameters from 110 millimeters and up to 320 millimeters. But of course, if we compare the price of these tools of down-the-hole hammers with their crowns, and if we compare them to the price of the 3-blade beads or PDC beads, we should say that the price of the down-the-hole hammers is considerably higher. So because the design is very complex and they are made of hard alloy, and they have special pins, special design in order to break the formations. That is why the price will be higher. But at the same time, it will allow to break the formations very quick and in an efficient way. And now let us consider the advantages and disadvantages of this type of drilling, of wet drilling. The first advantage, as I said before, it is the speed. The air drilling allows to make drilling very quick and very fast if we compare it with down the hole, if we compare it to the wet drilling. Why is it faster? It is faster because we use the air compressor, which is like a separate unit, and it delivers the compressed air to the drilling rig, which is transferred to the tool, to the down the hole hammer and to the crown, and this stream of down the hole, this stream of compressed air, it allows to break the formations very quickly. And the second advantage is that you do not need to have a water pit. Do you remember that when we described the wet drilling, I explained that we have to have a water pit from which the water is supplied and delivered to the borehole. And in case of air drilling, there is no need to dig the water pit, as you understand, because the main tool and the main source for this type of drilling is compressed air, which is produced by air compressor. And at the same time, air drilling has some disadvantages, of course. So the main disadvantage is the price. This type of drilling is more expensive because you have to buy the compressor, the air compressor, and also the expensive tools such as down the hole hammers and drill bits. But at the same time, some people do not buy the air compressor if they make air drilling. And what do? So there is an option to rent a compressor. For example, if you run a business drilling boreholes for different people and you have different orders, sometimes you make wet drilling and sometimes you make air drilling. And let us say that you know that most part of your customers, of your clients, they have the drilling sites where you make air drilling, and so only 20 and maybe only 20% of the customers, they need air drilling. In this case, you do not have to buy the air compressor because it will not be cost efficient for you. In this case, you just rent the air compressor. You can rent the air compressor in order to save your money. So let us say if you go to the site, to the drilling site, and you know that this or that customer is going to have some hard rocks which will need air drilling, you just make arrangements to rent a compressor, and you pay for renting for 1 day, and that will allow you to save your money. And the second disadvantage is the fact that air drilling is not applicable for soft formations, such as sand, clay, loam soil, or sandstone or drift sand. You can use the air drilling only from the category of hardness, starting from the fourth category of hardness, because if you use this type of drilling in soft soil, your down the hole camera will just get stuck in this soil, and it will allow you, and it will not allow you to make this drilling efficiently. Okay. And now there is a question. If you want to perform air drilling, which types of drilling rigs you can choose? And the same as with the wet drilling, which I described before. Basically, all types of drilling rigs can be used in order to perform air drilling. So you can use drilling rigs which are portable. You can use drilling rigs which are mounted on the trailer. Also the ones which are mounted on the self-propelled base, and surely you can use the exploration drilling rigs which are mounted on the truck. Of course, the best option and the most convenient option is to use the exploration drilling rig which is mounted on the truck, because in this case you can mount this air compressor on the bottom of the truck, and it is very convenient because when you move the vehicle, this truck, from one drilling site to another drilling site, everything is on board. So the compressor is on board, and it will allow you to perform air drilling. But if you need to make air drilling and such big machines, such big vehicles as trucks, as KAMAZ truck, Ural truck, Mercedes, MAN, and other trucks cannot reach these places, what to do? The answer is that you can use all other types of drilling rigs, such as trailer-mounted drilling rig or self-propelled drilling rigs, and you can also use the compressor. But in this case, the compressor will not be installed on the base of these drilling machines, but it will be used separately as a separate unit. As you have seen on the picture before, these compressors may be transported using the wheels, and you should have a separate vehicle which will deliver this compressor to the drilling site. And then what you have to do is to connect this compressor to your portable or trailer-mounted drilling rig, and you can start air drilling. So yes, that is also possible. That is all which is related to air drilling. And now let us move on, and I will explain the future issue. So the next question is how to select the necessary configuration based on your requirements. So let me explain. I will open the suitable the right slide of the presentation. Just a second, here it is. So how to select the configuration? First of all, as you can see right here, you need to determine the type and hardness of formations that you have. As I said before, you can have formations from the first to the third category, such as sand, clay, loam soil, sandstone, drift sand. You can have formations from the fourth to the sixth category, which is loamy sandstone, heavy clay, argillites, quartz-bearing slate stones, and others. In these types, in this case, you can use, of course, wet drilling. So because it is the formations with category of hardness up to 6, up to 8 even. And if you have formations which have a higher strength, let us say dense dolomites, silicified sandstone, such as basalt, heavy barytes, or quartz sandstone, of course, you should use the air drilling in order to be able to penetrate these formations using the down-the-hole hammer and the special tools. The next step to determine the necessary configuration is to know the depth of your drilling. Let us say, and the depth will determine the base of the drilling rig, which is portable, trailer-mounted, self-propelled, or truck. Let us say if you need to drill up to 50 or 70 meters, that means that you can use the portable drilling rig or the trailer-mounted drilling rig, which will allow to put down the necessary drilling string to the borehole, and the capacity of these small dimension drilling rigs will allow to pull up this drilling string for 50 or for 70 meters. But if you need to drill, let us say, up to 200 meters, of course, you should consider some drilling rigs which are mounted on the self-propelled base or which are mounted on the reinforced trailer, because they have higher capacity and the higher force in order to pull up the drilling string of drilling rods, which were pulled down to the depth of 200 meters. So you can use, let us say, GBU 60L or SBU URB Mini, the self-propelled drilling rig, or of course exploration drilling rig. So as for the exploration drilling rig, the maximum drilling depth is 300 meters. And the next step and the final step is the selection of necessary tools. First of all, you should select the, if we take, let us say, wet drilling, you select the necessary drilling bits, whether 3-blade bits, the PDC bits, or roller cone bits. You select the necessary diameter, and we can help you to select it if you do not know it. And in case of air drilling, you just select the diameters of the crown of the drilling bit, which is connected to the down-the-hole hammer. As I said before, we offer a wide range of diameters for different types of bits and down-the-hole hammers. What you need to do is write a request to my email, bst.romanov@gmail.com, or give me a ring, and I will help you select all necessary tools and equipment for your requirements. And in order to understand all this material, so I suppose that some of people who watch this broadcast, they are already familiar with drilling activity, with drilling operations, and this information may be known for them. But also there are people who are not familiar with drilling, who just want to start their business in drilling, and so this information might be new and pretty useful for them. That is why I'm going to describe several examples how to select the configuration based on your requirements. And again, let us go back to our PowerPoint presentation, and I will show you some examples of several configurations of drilling rigs. So, example number one, it is soft formations. So let us say you need to drill in soft formations, and the rated depth is about 50 to 70 meters. If you have such requirements, that means that you can use, yes, right, the wet drilling, the fluid circulation drilling. For this purpose, you can choose the motor pump, which is already consists of motor and the pump. And then as for the tools, you can select the 3-blade bit for soft soils, for sand, for sandstone, for drift sand, and for loam soil. And which base of the drilling rig, you can select whether a trailer-mounted drilling rig, which you can see right here, or as an example, you can select the portable drilling rig, which you can see here, like GBU 24 LP or GBU 15 LP. This drilling machine will also be enough, will be sufficient to carry out the operation, the required operation. Let us move on and consider the second example. Let us say that your requirements is soft soil and layers of some rock of hard formations, such as quartz-bearing slate stones, some layers of argillites, maybe dense dolomites, and silicified sandstone. And you need to drill up to 150 meters. In this case, it is better to use the professional pump NB4, which will allow to drill up to 150 meters. And for soft soil, again, you use the 3-blade bit, as you already know. And for layers of hard rock, you should select the PDC bit of necessary diameter, because as I explained to you before, PDC bits, they have shown good performance with small dimension drilling rigs. And as for the base of the drilling machine, you can select the GBU 60L drilling machine, which is mounted on the trailer and which has enough space to mount this professional mud pump on the board. And basically this configuration of equipment will allow you to perform this drilling with these requirements. And example number 3, let us say that you need to drill in soft formations, again, like clay, sandstone, drift sand, And sometimes you have to drill in hard rock, let us say quartz sandstone, fine size granites, or dense quartz, or jaspilites, or maybe even minerals which are completely unaffected by weathering. And you need to drill up to 200 meters. In this case, the set of necessary equipment and tools will be the following. Of course, for soft formations, you might want to use the wet drilling, the fluid circulation drilling. For this, you will need the professional mud pump, and before will be enough. Then you should have the 3 blade bits, which you can see right here. So this is the set for wet circulation drilling. And in order to make drilling in the rock, what do you have to do? You just switch the type of drilling bits, the type of drilling equipment, and you switch these 3 blade bits to the down the hole hammer and to the drill crown, to the drill bits, and you start using the compressor, which can be installed on the board of the truck. Specifically for 200 meters, you can use the compressor by Atlas Copco, the model XAHS 186, and also the down the hole hammer with the necessary crown, with the necessary drill bit. So as I said again, you switch the type of bits, and you can do it using our drilling rigs. So the configuration allows to perform both types of drilling. And you start drilling using this equipment. And as for the base for these requirements, the best option is truck and the exploration drilling rig URB2A2, which is installed on the truck, on the chassis of the truck, and which can combine all these type of equipment. And if you have your own requirements, your specific requirements, and you do not know how to make the selection of the drilling equipment, the selection of tools, or how to select the type of drilling, wet drilling or air drilling, you can address all these questions to me. You can write to my email, or you can make a call to me at 7922-239-0155, or write by WhatsApp, and I will give you the recommendation. I will give you the advice, which equipment and which tools to select. And according to your requirements, I will prepare the necessary quotation for you, and you can review it and analyze. All right, so as for the 2 types of drillings, we have covered all the issues, and right now there is the time for discounts, as I promised to you before. So as I said, those participants of the broadcast which will watch it until the end will have the possibility to use the discounts which is offered by our company. And you can get the discount for all drilling rigs, for all models of our drilling equipment, the discount in the amount of 5% until May 15, if you make the request. And in order to get this discount, you need to tell the secret code. And the secret code this time will be BST BST15. Remember, BST15. If you make the request and if you tell me this secret code, then be sure that you will get this special discount of 5% from our standard price, and you will be able to use this discount, as I said before, until May 15th. So hurry up and write to my email in order to get this good bonus from our company. Again, I will remind you how to contact us and how to find our company online. My name is Dennis, and you can always make a call to my phone number, which is +7 922 239 0155. You can also use Skype, or Viber, WhatsApp, or Telegram in order to contact me using this number. Also, please write to my email, which is bst.romanov@gmail.com. And in order to be aware of all our news, of all our discounts and new models, please subscribe to our Instagram channel, to our Facebook channel, and also to our YouTube channel in the internet. Also, you can visit our website, which is drill-rig.com, where you can find description of our drilling rig models. All right, so now I have covered all the questions, all the issues which I wanted to explain related to wet drilling and air drilling. And right now, I would like to know if you have any questions which you have written in the chat to this online broadcast, to this live stream. And also some of customers, they have sent the questions by email. So let me check the chat and my email, and I will answer the questions that you have asked. Okay, one second. Okay, I have a question. So the question is, can you install the mud pump and air compressor on the truck at the same time? I understand the question. So yes, basically it is possible to install the mud pump and the air compressor on the truck simultaneous. But you have to remember that the air compressor, which will be installed on the truck, will allow to drill up to 200 meters because of its size. So that is the maximum depth which can be drilled using this air compressor. This is the compressor by Atlas Copco XAHS, I think, 186. And yes, it will allow to drill to 200 meters. And the mud pump, which will be mounted on the truck at the same time, it can be professional mud pump NB50. It will allow to drill to 300 meters. So yes, this configuration is possible. Okay, let me have a look at other questions that you might have. Okay, there is a question. I know that I have rock and hard rock in my area, and how do I know that I need a compressor? It is very expensive. Okay, I understand. So what you are saying is that you have rock and hard rock, and you do not know whether to buy a compressor or not to buy the air compressor. So how to determine? Because we can supply to you the special tools, the special bits, which are PDC bits or roller cone bits, which can also may be used for drilling these hard formations. And in order to determine whether you need an air compressor or you do not need it, so the best way is to check on practice. But how to do it? You could ask other people, other companies which you have at your area, at your local area, and find out if they use the air compressor and how often do they use it. So if you find out that yes, most of the time they use the air compressor in order to pass these hard formations, then definitely yes, it is better to select and to buy the air compressor as well. But if they say that they basically use some types of bits for hard formations, for hard soils, such as roller cone bits or PDC bits, and they are sufficient. So of course, you do not need to buy the air compressor. You can use these bits which we can supply to you. And as I said before, if you come across some formations which are mostly composed of hard rock, such as quartz, minerals which are completely unaffected by weathering, or quartz, sandstone, of course, you should use the compressor. So everything is determined by the practice. Okay, so as for the questions, let me have a look if we have any more questions. All right, the questions are over, so that is good. Now I would like to tell you that our online webinar number 2 is going to be finished because I have covered all the questions. I would like to thank all the participants, all the people who took part in this webinar and who wrote the questions. It is very good that you visit our webinars in order to get more information about drilling activities, about our company. And as I said before, in the future, we are going to carry out more webinars on the different topics in order to increase your knowledge in the drilling operations, and which will allow you to make a better choice in the equipment which we can provide to you. In order to suggest different topics of the next online webinars, please write your comments below to this video, or write your suggestions to my email bst.romanov@gmail.com, and we will be happy to receive the feedback from you. And now, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Goodbye.